Recording. Hi there, my name is Kendrick, and today I get to interview Nico. So, Nico, welcome.
Hello.
So, Nico, can
Um,
you please tell us your full type?
I am an ENTP. I am MMNETI, consume, sleep, play, blast. Social type 4.
Gotcha. And what did you think and how did you feel when you got your typing results back?
I was so happy. I this is a I believe this is a really good deck of cards that I can really grow with. Um, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna debate with I'm not gonna debate. It makes a lot of sense. The only thing that I was confused on was the NISE or SINE axis, and that's the only axis that I got wrong. That's the only coin. So
So,
yeah,
let's talk about that. So, before we hit the record button, we were actually just discussing how you look like an ESTP and you have the ESTP vibe also. But
I do.
obviously they went through the parts and everything, and it was NE at the end of the day. So
Yeah.
let's talk about that. How did you feel like, having all those ESTP-ish like vibes? Obviously, TI, you're still in the TI FE axis and still in EP, right? But like you're lead intuitive, not lead SE. So
Um. Okay. So I had figured that I was lead intuitive for a long time ago. Because I quickly put together that I'm like, okay, the worst, like the thing that's always effing me over is my imagination. Like I always dawdle off, and yeah, so I was like pretty shaken up whenever I got the STP vibes. Like many people were like, yeah, you look ESTP, you're very ESTP, and I'm like, I look at what ESTPs look like and all that, and I'm like, hmm, hey, they could possibly be right. Um, but the more I thought about it, the less and less it made sense. And I'm like, I am not. I have too many. I have too many sensory f offs to even justify like calling myself a sensor. Like, and the thing that really sold me on not being a censor was the fact that I had like minor bits of envy for them because they were capable of doing what I struggled to.
yeah, it makes perfect sense with that envy for sure. I think especially for you because you have ST sleep, so your identity is tied to competence, and no one is more competent than those ESTP guys. Like they just know how to do shit, right? So um
Yeah.
and they're like so badass too. Like they can do like parkour and like all this crazy SE stuff that like us SI people will like never be able to do just because we're so clumsy with the physical world.
Oh my God, yes, yes. But hey, at least I got the one thing that I can say is like, okay, at least I got the look. All right, because I mean, okay, like that's not bad. It's not bad at all. Um, but yeah, I mean I think that's really all I have to say about that. Aside from to viewers, I'd say don't let your don't let your biases cloud your judgment. It can it can really throw you off.
I think the other thing interesting about you also is the fact that you're double masculine, which is interesting because first of all, you have your feminines are your saviors, right? So
And the, mhm.
yeah, so that means you're gonna be leading with the feminine animals, kind of like Michael Jackson, who seems like a double feminine person, even though he's double masculine, kind of deal.
Yeah.
You're gonna come across more soft, like extra soft and friendly, even though you're technically like supposed to be like an aggressive type. Can you share that
It
a little bit about like being like a double masculine, but like leading with those feminines?
it is, it is. I 100% concur. Whenever I looked at what my type is, because my double masculine functions are at the bottom, they're blast last. So I I'm like feminine like all the way through until like for like 80% of the day, and then 20% I'm just smash energy. Um so I do come off, very effeminate, and I kind of like see my identity as rather effeminate, but there's the quote unquote rage monster, as Dave calls it, uh that just proves me otherwise. And yeah, it's pretty crazy. Whenever I looked, I'm like, okay, I am technically the most effeminate double masculine type.
Right.
Out of all 512 that could be masculine, that could be like double masculine, I am the most effeminate, because masculine TE is more masculine than FE. You know, masculine SE is more masculine than SI. And then I'm very introverted, and my masculine animal is last. So it's like,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah, no, 100%. The other thing interesting too is you, me, and Dave, we're all SF last, right? Double masculine SF last, all three of us. So
yeah,
it's kind of interesting having that at the bottom, which we'll discuss into detail later on. But you definitely have your Hulk syndrome tucked in there. So it's definitely there, loaded, ready to be used if someone crosses the line. You're still double decider though, so it's gonna be hard to cross the line. Like someone would have to like steal one of your SI belongings or something to, or like cause some kind of SI like problem for you to
okay, somehow,
it's fine. We're good. It just blinked, but it's fine.
yeah, so okay, somehow spam callers can still reach me despite me being on Don't Disturb.
Because you're an observer, that's why.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's,
It
the
has to happen.
problems just
Has to happen, man.
problems just the problems just get funneled towards me. But yeah, it definitely, messing with the SI, right? Because that's masculine, or just trampling too much on the TI. That definitely happened with one person that I got really, really upset with, more than I like, more than I should have. But yeah, we're cool. There you go. We should double deciding.
You can't not, and you're number four, so you're like super tribe-ish for like a double introvert.
Yeah, it's like it's like, I mean, it's kind of like I want to be friends. I want to be friends. Stop poking, okay? Please. That's kind of it. How do you experience your SF sleep last? How does
In
that Hulk syndrome come out?
I It comes out in many ways. The first part is like my SF is extremely picky. So um like if someone tells me, so does this look good? I'll be like, oh, it's fucking ugly. I'll just be like, I just like really aggressive with it, right? I'm like, I can't sugarcoat how I feel about like the SF, right? If I think something is hideous, I'll just tell you it's hideous as hell, right? I'll be like, oh, it's not bad. I'll say something nice about it. I'm like, no, it's hideous, right? That's all I'll say. Or if I'm driving, that's kind of where I get my outlet for the double masculine SF emotion part, where I'll open my window down and
Mm.
like cuss out the other drivers, and then I'll feel good afterwards, and I'll be like, oh, that feels good, you know, like life is good.
Ooh,
Even though I just like scream and call them like, like obsessed, the worst things you could imagine, plus a middle finger or two, perhaps.
actually just cast a dark magic spell on them.
Yeah. What about you? What does your Hulk syndrome look like?
Oh, it comes out with a lot of with a lot of and just physical destruction. Um, as a kid, as a kid, say something wouldn't like TI work right, and I'm an observer, like intuitive, so there's that clumsiness there.
Yeah.
Um, and the sensory is like personal, so like doubling all that down, and the thing just breaks. I used to get, still sometimes get so angry that I bang my head against the wall because, and it's like, or like punch myself in the head, because it's like I see it as like a sort of punishment for myself of not being capable of figuring it out. Um, I'm like, the TI is very sensitive. It is very very sensitive to that kind of stuff, I'll say. Uh, Also comes out through an invasion of fleas in my room. I had a victory against Calculus 2 last summer, but I got defeated by fleas and it just sent me into a rage. Yeah, they just invaded my room because there are squirrels in my walls. My frat is falling apart. So yeah, there's the triggerings.
They're all things related, of course. Like,
Yeah, except for that like one person that just crosses the line enough.
yeah. Yeah, but even then, that could be resolved, like that,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because the people stuff is not the worst, right? It's always like the S something that ruins the SI, right? Or messes with the SI, essentially.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can concur. Um, it's kind of, I'll say it's kind of different. Because I mean, with double masculine, it's like people are kind of like threatening too.
Yeah.
So it's like people and things just can kind of suck.
Oh,
So I'm
great.
better with but I'm better with the people. I'm a little
Oh,
better with the people than I am with the things, just a little.
okay, okay. I'm curious. So people are threatening, but how long do they stay threatening though?
Depends on it depends on the situation. Depends on, what the person has done. Um, it depends on my exposure to them, what the person has done, to me or to people that I care about. It depends. It varies. Like the one guy that really got on my case, he's a big, big double masculine guy as well, who just screams at you and just TE beats the absolute hell out of you. And, that's a threat because that gets my SF angry. And, but the thing is that I have to like hold myself from like trying to actually take things outside because I'll actually just get my ass like handed to me. like, I'm not like I gotta play safe here and gotta keep telling telling the SF like, hey, you're very irrational. It's a dude. Like it's just a person. Calm down. It's not an earthquake or a volcano.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not hail denting the hell out of my car, right? That's the observer things are going to win out, but everybody's a decider at the end of the day. If you
Right. Right. That's true. Yeah, we are all deciders at the end of the day. It's just that the observers, we have we're not stuck, I think, on the people stuff. There is always like a solution. So we can always proceed. There is a way to proceed regardless. I want to go over your parts now because we got a little bit off tangent
yes,
at the start here, which is expected as we're both EPs
it's
and
all
the channel changed aggressively. Um,
yeah, it's all good.
so, dude, let's start with your first animal, which is similar flavor to mine and same in a way that it's double feminine. And it's also NT. Your first animal is double activated, double feminine, NT consume. How do you personally experience that abusive first savior animals of yours?
Um, it is just like a very like feminine flow. I'll start with the NE, then I'll hit the TI, and then combine them. Um, so with the NE, right, to describe kind of what that does, um, it is anchored. You could say it's anchored by the SI, but it is just possibility land, possibility land, possibility land, possibility land. Like, hey, how'd that chair get there? Hey, look at the fan, right? Oh, the banana combines in and synthesizes. Like it's it's just so flowy. But I also get the symbols. Um, I also get the symbols to where I can't explain them, and that's where I have to disagree with any needing SI to actually like intuit, because I believe any needs SI to anchor it, because you're any, right, and you have a similar flavor to mine, where there are all these random patterns, symbols, everything for me. And but the thing is that they're not attached to anything physical, meaning that I cannot make sense of them. They're just there, and I'm swimming in a sea of them. And what the SI does is that it makes the imagination, it makes the abstract usable. That's what I believe the SI does. Um, it it makes the abstract a little less abstract, because we're looking at everything, right? If Ni is a river, if Ni is one river, um, the Ne sees the spring that river comes from. It sees how it makes other rivers. It sees the land that the river is. It sees all the seas that the rivers go to. It sees all the springs that the deltas and tributaries, or whatever the word is, go to and come from. Right? We're looking up towards origin, which is why we expand. That's what I believe NE does, and that's why I believe that saying that SI is 100, like SI makes NE do NE. That's where I disagree, because there is just without the SI, it is just pure abstract land,
Yeah.
meaning NE is still doing NE. Um, but yeah, there's the SI, the TI. I mean, there's the NE, and then the TI. What that does is it's feminine, so I'm very soft on it. Like it's very watery. I'll tend to forget what I think about. I'll tend to forget the patterns. They transform and oscillate within, like ripples in a pond or an ocean, with a bunch of waves. And with the TI, it essentially helps make use of that abstract as well, in the sense of it's able to grab and kind of orient the patterns, make sense of the connections, and help me navigate more through the abstract to make sense of the real world. But the thing is that I'll forget what I'm thinking about. And I think that's where the big difference comes in with feminine and masculine NT, is that they both do the same thing. One just kind of has to redo it. You can build awesome sculptures out of sand.
Yeah.
And then for the whole animal, you put those two together, and it's just kind of like an octopus, but or the rivers. You can combine the rivers to make a big river. They split, they move, they flow. Um, it's really cool. I'll say it is really cool, but it's also really abusive, because I'll just and I'll just be gone.
Right.
Yeah, I've been really explorative, and that's where I I got the intuition wrong. I decided to explore what pure intuition was instead of looking at my sensory, because I'm like, okay, if I fully know what my savior is, I'll know, you know, I'll know what's really messing me up here. And it's just pure incomprehensible. I actually loaded up a funny video of, like, on my computer over here, of what it kind of looks like. So would you like to see it?
What video?
Oh, it's just like it's like this 200-hour video sped up to like 20 seconds, and it's insane. But it kind of describes what the pure intuition looks like.
And you're gonna take your phone and show it to me, but with your phone, like,
Yeah, I'm gonna turn it around.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah, go ahead, yeah, go for it.
Yeah, cool, cool. All right. So I think this will also help help viewers as well. Kind of like get a bit of the connection. Uh it's pretty funny, at least to me, because I think it's funny to me because it's relatable. But here you go. That's what happens. How am I supposed to describe that?
Oh yeah, I see what you mean. I see what you mean.
I mean, without like minus the noise, but
Yeah.
it's very fluid. It's weird, right? I think
Yeah,
this like
I see what you I see what you mean. I mean, I have NE, so I get it.
yeah, yeah, you get it. It's
Yeah. But I also
that's
got
the
distracted by
weirdness.
your TV because I was looking at your TV also. I was like, oh, what's in the TV? Like, because I, obviously have the channel change, right? So I was looking at both. I
we
was like, okay, let's see let me see what you're showing me. He's like, what's that thing on the back? Like,
we got Pool Man up there.
yeah. Like I just saw it
I
says
don't
the
know what
bear.
the
I was like,
heck
what's
that
the
is.
bear? I was like thinking, I was like, um, but
Yeah, that's
you know
what
what?
happens. That's what happens with any.
It's interesting that you showed that to me because like I'm like, dude, that's so fast. I'm like, I wonder if that's how fast my brain processes NE too. I think it happens so fast that actually like because it's feminine, right? So it doesn't stick, but it's
Mhm.
processing. So it's constantly processing, but nothing sticking. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I make a joke where because sometimes whenever I walk, my head will bob,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I make the joke of, oh yeah, where do you think all the calories go?
You know what?
Because it's like too heavy.
I think Marvel, the MCU's like new arc with like the timeline and stuff. I think that's like I bet you it was like an ENTP who made that. Like they're talking about like multiple realities and like they show the branches
Yeah,
of
yeah.
reality. I swear to God, that's like a I swear to God, because like when I watch like MCU, I always feel like their jokes are very like NF play like. It's not my humor, but it's close. I can see it. I can tell it's like an NE humor, like like an NE kind of humor, but I think it's NF play humor, not NT play, because NT play is very offensive, right? Um, so they're a little bit
Sure.
softer with their play, but then with the timelines for sure, like the trees, multiple realities and stuff. So um I think that's definitely what the NE is doing. Although I was listening to you talk earlier, and the way you process the SI is different than the way I do it. I think it's because I have SITE and SIFI versus your SITI and SIFE. So it's the way you process those branches of rivers, all the different like different rivers that spawn out of that, let's say lake, right? Whatever. Or just multiple realities, multiple futures, right? I think how you process it is different from how I process it, just based on the way you described it earlier. So I'm actually quite curious how you process it, because like when you were saying stuff earlier, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, you know what? I can see you doing the any projection. I can relate to that part, But then when you start talking about the SI part, I'm like, that's different from mine. Because for me, like, I think it's because my ST blast as a savior. So I see multiple futures like you do, right? But um, I'm also checking to see what the SI steps needed to reach those each of those individual
Yeah.
destinations. But with like the SITE way where it's like um trial and error as opposed to something else that you would be doing, you know, because TI is less trial and error, right? Or maybe TI is more simulation in your head versus TE is more like
Yes. Yes.
TE is more like real life application, right? With real life feedback. So
Hmm.
so yeah, so that's kind of like what I was thinking when you were saying that stuff earlier. And also with the SIFI, which we'll talk about the sleep after this because that's gonna be fun. Because before this interview, you were saying, "Oh my God, how do you look so young?" Right? Like, and then we're talking about supplements and shit, and like you know, like Brian Johnson, like supplements. So
Yeah.
we'll go into a rabbit hole in a second, but that's gonna be like a deep rabbit hole. So I want to save that for a second. And also the other thing you said about like the NT part of your consume, um, you know, kind of like being like kind of fluffy, you know, kind of like just hard to like
Fuck that.
yeah. Um, for me, I like with like and like double feminine NT also like you. But it's a little bit different because mine's in play, right? Yours is consume. So um for me, if I want to do something and like I feel like I figured out the puzzle to solve like whatever problem I have to achieve the goal, there's always that like insecurity. I'm like, did I really solve the problem? Like, I don't know. I'm always thinking, right? Because like it's double feminine, right? I'm like, is this really the right solution? I'm like, I feel like it
Yeah.
is, but like I'm not sure. And then usually like how I proceed to like decide if this is like how I'm gonna proceed, usually it's just like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll just do it. Let's see what happens. Like, you know, like it's like because I feel like I can go on this like infinite NT problem solving, but because it's feminine, I'll never feel confident enough that this is the right solution. That confidence will never be there just because it's feminine, double feminine, right? So I don't know if you feel that way, but like that's how I feel about it. And the answer is always fuck it, let's just do it, you know?
I do. I do feel that way, and I'll explain kind of what it's like. So I it's more of, yeah, it is like, is that the right solution? I mean, it makes sense. There's this other, answer that's really similar. I can also kind of see that making sense as well. I'm gonna choose this one out of the multiple choice, and if that turns out wrong, it's like, whoop, okay, well, I was still right with the other option, so I'm still right. My ego is my ego is safe. uh, but I think I have like a bit more confidence in the problem solving, because there's a bit of personal nature to it. Um, so and I think I have like and I think the TI is like hit a little stronger than the NE because I have ST sleep right there. So it's like a little, just a little stronger, but I can definitely relate to a lot of what you said with feminine T, because it is, at the end of the day, it is thinking. Though, going back to what you said with the, simulating the possibilities, I simulate the steps. Is it this step, this step, this step, and I create the timeline of each possibility. Because double masculine, I can even make timelines in the abstract. It's crazy. um I'm like, okay, this symbol, this symbol, this symbol, this symbol, cool. I know that this symbol oscillated and changed into this symbol, and I can track the timing on it. But I also consciously know how to pull possibilities together as well to create a bit of a bigger river, because, uh, like Dave said, ENTPs are able to watch him like a hawk. And I'm like, oh, I see what you did there. I see what you did there with your NI. Cool. I can play 2048 with categories too. Let's go for it. So, I can narrow down possibilities based off of, but it's based off of TI instead of naturally doing it. I can make, because it's like, okay, these two are similar enough and it's feminine, so I can kind of clump them to make and that makes sense. Let's look, and I can clump them all the way. But the thing is that once they're clumped, it's like, okay, on to the new. Okay, this is kind of boring. Whoop, gonna just shift on to the new. That's where a bit of the difference lies. Um, but there is something that I say, um, if it can happen, it will happen. And the reason why I say that is based off of the idea of infinite time. Infinity on the timeline, going back and forth, will ultimately create infinite possibilities based off of the known quantum fluctuations of our reality. And, eventually, given an infinite time, an infinite amount of fluctuations can stack on each other and end up creating another Big Bang, which leads to a whole nother universe of stuff. That's kind of how the feminine NT works. And then I forget about it all the next day, so I have to refigure it out.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a big difference between our NE because yours is attached to TI. So I'm not doing any of that stuff that you just explained. I can
Really?
I can picture it, but I'm not doing it because I don't have TI. And also, funny enough, I think Dave said ENTP like Blast Last is that type like he hates the most or something. Because he can't beat you guys or something. You know.
Yeah. that's that's pretty good because I mean, we Dave and I, it seems like we get along pretty, or at least if I knew him in person more, we'd get along pretty nice. But I think that's also just social type 4 talking. But we all have masculine SF, so I think we can all gel pretty well.
Yeah. All right, dude. Let's jump into I have a hiccups now. Let's talk about your
Oh no.
ST sleep. So I'll go to more deeper detail, but I want to hear first from your perspective. Um, how do you personally experience that ST sleep of yours?
Well, I have things, processes, pet projects that are personal to me. I believe that, I do believe in a form of accuracy to get to the truth, through SI. Um, it's, I have just a bunch of personal things. Like I'm looking at this old, R2D2 robot that I got like whenever I was 6, I think. Um, and, it's like, there's a bit of like personal attachment to that, as well as, transformers and whatnot, because I can like figure them out and like actually work on the physical puzzle, and the SI puzzle and the ST puzzle and like transform them and whatnot. So I think that's where that comes in. It also comes in on like health, like physical fitness, physical wellness. Though I'm kind of blast last, so it's like I'll get started on that later. But it it comes out in like figuring out the best figuring out like the best supplements, um path making the path of least resistance step by step in order to get to a better form of health. um there is certainly a form of structure that I can impose on organization. I can say that, whenever I like work on the ST sleep, I can be very, very organized to where people will actually like compliment me on it. Yeah, I know it's a bit of a what is it called? Peacock, but it's like I have the tribe to back me up, so we're cool. um, it's just I won't like get to it, but it is like it is very like health oriented, like going to the gym, whatnot. Um, though there are times where I can slack off on it, but essentially I'm always processing it in my mind. as well as transferring my NE theories, my NT consume theories into the SI and actually grounding them and like holding on to them. Though the issue is that I don't write them down or whatever, so that kind of but I will remember it. I'll remember the timeline and all that, and I'll remember kind of like the like if I ingrain it into my SI, I'll remember the timeline, like the steps on how I got to such a TI conclusion. Um, yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of just like processing that goes on with that. um, chemistry, yes, actually, yeah, chemistry, the physical sciences. That is a very ST sleep thing. The issue lies in that my double masculine nature sometimes wants to smash the pet project. Um, and there can be a bit like I'm jerky and clumsy, so there can be a bit of reduction on the accuracy, just kind of due to my own like more kinesthetic nature, and that being a very delicate process to work on. But I'll definitely say that like chemistry and like my lab and whatnot is very ST, very, very ST. It also helps feed the NF quite a bit. If you'd like for me to go into detail on chemistry, I can, or otherwise I'll give the floor to you.
Um, no, it's okay because I probably won't understand. So let's skip the chemistry part. But
Oh, you come on, you got any, you could, yeah,
maybe,
I have faith in you,
yeah, maybe.
but
But I want to talk more
yeah,
about the
let's move
lab
on.
stuff though. So let's go into that.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, yeah. So I was just thinking about what you were saying, and also your polarity as a double masculine also person, and also like a social type number four. Because I was just
Weird,
thinking
it's
about like
weird.
other ENTPs I've interviewed, and their social types, their sexual modalities. Um, I did notice those like the more MF audio ENTPs with a double masculine SD sleep, they tend to have a little bit more obsession with finances. Um, but like
Mm.
the double masculine doesn't seem to have like as big of an obsession with it. Um, from what I'm seeing, because I'm hearing you talk and you seem to be more focused on the health aspect of things, which I'm quite fascinated on. Um, so I'm curious to that. I did interview another ENTP who he was MF and he wasn't as obsessed with the finances stuff. Maybe it's more like a nurture thing as opposed to nature. But he was definitely
Oh,
obsessed
also social type.
with the physical fitness aspect of things. And having like an SI routine that works for you, right? Essentially. Um, like a health routine, right? And it's very similar to SIFI actually, because like when I don't know if you saw my video when I did my explainer video on myself, when I talked about my SF sleep progress. I don't know if
I
you've
think
seen that.
I like watched a little bit and then I NE jumped away.
Oh yeah, it's fine. So in that video, I showed like a breakdown of the four different aspects of SF sleep health routine, right? Which was exercise, nutrition, physical sleep, and mental health. And
Oh, physical sleep. Okay.
yeah, so and
Don't F with my sleep. There you go. I had to get that one in there. Continue.
and yeah, there's like a routine for each of those aspects, right? So I kind of like gave myself like a rank on each of those four different areas of um, you know, sleep routine, right? Like health routine, you could
Oh.
say. So I want to ask you for you personally, how would you rank your exercise routine, your eating habits, like in terms of eating healthy food and then or taking supplements, um, physical sleep and mental health. Okay, because those are all the aspects of the health routine of the SIFI or SITI. Because it's the same, it's just a little bit different because yours is what works. For me, it's what feels good. But the end result is like something that's obviously working or makes you like if it's working, it'll probably make you feel good. You know what I mean? So
Well, the thing is with that is that a lot of those things affect the other. There's a connection between all of those to where you bring up one, like you say, stats in a video game. Like those little diamonds, those little stat diamonds that they have, where if you bring up one stat too much, it forces the others to go for like a form of balance. I believe that it's like that. Like if you mess up your supplement routine or you eat badly, that has an impact on your sleep, and therefore that sleep has an impact on your mental health. And so all of the kind of things trigger the other,
Yeah.
to some degree. So you kind of have to work on, like, at least with me, I have to like work on all of them to get good. Um, with one like physical sleep, I think that's like pretty good. The one issue is that I have like a difficulty breathing through my nose a lot, so I need to use nasal strips and mouth tape to actually help me breathe at night. Because actually breathing, if you modulate your breathing, it it has a very, very big impact on how the rest of your quality of life is.
Yeah.
Actually, I know, you know, um, I actually know and like learned about a breathing technique that's really like helpful for that. Though I'm also notoriously lazy and haven't been working on that as much as I should because that double NT consume has just been beating my ass. um, there's also there's also the food routine, which it ebbs and flows, I'll say. Because my SF is masculine, there is very powerful whatever your SF is, that's going to be your I believe that's going to be your physical food consumption because they're at the end of the day they're SF, whether it's SEFI, it all kind of like goes back to like SEFI. you know so there's like the little ESFP that's like, and it's telling me I want a pizza, I want a pizza, I want a pizza, I want a pizza. And that kind of that throws off, the routine that works for me, and it just kind of brings down everything. Um, though I'm definitely going to need to kick that back up into gear if I want to get like really healthy, which that's the plan. Um, though take my plan with a grain of salt because I'm an EP. Uh, so yeah, you have that, and then the supplements. Okay, that's where I'm pretty good. That's where I'm gaming, I'll say. So one thing that I do, I take, or I used to take ADHD medicine. Now I actually stopped taking that very
Sorry,
recently ago.
which ADHD meds were you taking?
Adderall.
Adderall. Okay, so you have like inattentive ADHD then?
Yeah, I'm daydreaming.
Okay, that makes sense. Lead sleep makes perfect sense.
Yeah, yeah. It's just I'm off. Whenever my calc teacher's talking, I'm thinking of ops because they have the secret information. So and a blast laugh. So I'm thinking about conversing with Dave to get the physical information.
Yeah.
Also, that combination is why I thought I was NI for a sec. Because there's this video on Naval Ravikant where he's like, man, before this interview, I was rehearsing talking to you, and I was rehearsing telling you about the rehearsal of talking to you, and I was rehearsing this, and I kept thinking about it, and I'm like, ah. But whenever I learned that stuckness also can come from blast last, and the fact that it's a problem that's not solved because the secret's in the other guy's hands, that makes a lot more sense. And I missed where the genetic triggering came from. So
Yeah.
yeah, just a little PSA of yeah, sure, I can, everybody does everything. Um, but yeah, back to in big old channel change there. But
Yeah.
going back to the ADHD medicine, um, it is the inattentive type. Though the issue and why I stopped is because first off, the ADHD also comes from the double masculine as well, I believe. Because first off, I'm an attentive, so I'm going to be daydreaming, and then whenever I'm in the NT, the SF double masculine's like, the body's like, well, what do I do now? Well, I guess I move. So I'll just like get up from my seat and like pace, and while I'm thinking, and that is very disruptive, to whatever situation I'm in, and I'll also get like punchy and whatnot, and it's a recipe for disaster. So I took the ADHD medicine to stop it. There, but there is one issue. I noticed that my ability to problem solve deteriorates quite a bit whenever I'm on my ADHD medicine. I genuinely believe that like my IQ, like at the time, drops by like 20, depending like based off of the ADHD medicine.
Right.
Now I can make a joke about it, like, oh yeah, I stopped. I'm at a solid 100, or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's true. Like it dropped my ability to problem solve drops quite a bit, and I think also this is an ST sleep thing as well, kind of caring about the IQ. I guess I'm not sure though. I be very careful. I am very careful about it because I don't want to come off as braggy. I I don't want to, I don't want to do that. Like that's social type 4,
Yeah.
but like whenever I was getting like overdosed to hell, like in third grade with the ADHD medicine and dealing with trauma, I got my IQ back at around 127, which, that's my number. Yay, yay me, right?
Yeah.
But I noticed every time that I'm off of it, off of the meds, I'm just solving it's problem solving is easy. Like it's just like I can figure things out, very methodically and systemically.
Yeah.
And I'm having less of a problem with math and all of that, you know. And I did this. I learned this with Brilliant. It's got like a free subscription, from a NT Consume guy that I watch. So been working on that to kind of like masculinize my NT and make it stick more. Um, but yeah, that's where a bit of the trigger off comes. That's where the give and take happens with the ADHD medicine. But this is where the ST sleep comes in as well, is where I look towards alternative methods that will work for me with boosting my long-term health and ability to problem solve. And that comes with I have an obsession with medicinal mushrooms currently because they have many different compounds that help with your processing ability and essentially my ability to not have an observer freak out over a school problem, right? So it I've been looking into those, and I've been I'm actually currently in the process of drying out, like extracting with acetone and ethanol, extracting out the um, compounds that are stored within the cell walls of the of the mushroom powder. because a lot of the beneficial compounds in medicinal mushrooms, if you want to get into it, um, are locked within the actual cell, right? The secret's being gate kept, of course. But, um, yeah, so I've been working on that, as part of my ST sleep, as well as taking a variety of different supplements for just my overall well-being and for things that I may miss with my dietary habits. So I take a multivitamin to supplement what I may miss, right? Because food in America, right, it's kind of hard to get like that perfect, golden ratio of it's healthy, it's quick, and it's healthy, it's quick, and it's affordable. Like it's kind of hard to get that ratio going. So I, I can justify eating kind of eating shittily and missing some of the stuff. Like I can justify cheats by having a multivitamin to fall back on that gives me all the vitamins and minerals that I'd be deriving from that I otherwise would be deriving from food I miss. Right? Because salad has a shitty taste and texture. Of course. All the healthy foods just taste and have a bad texture. Of course. Very, very picky eater. That's where the double masculine comes in and like delivers another lethal blow to my SI, you know, like to my ST setup.
Right.
Um, it comes also with a lot of like research into how these various things into how these various supplements work and what they do for the body. Um, Also, as a kid growing up, I was very fascinated with how the human body works and stuff to help modulate my future self in order to essentially be strong and stable through you know tough times ahead potentially. Because if I can through supplements, through rigorous, through my NTST, through my NTST, I'll be able to I'll be able to get through the SF pain. So I have a little saying that goes, "Oh yeah, how can I get the NT gain without dealing with the SF pain later?" Because the I'll figure something out. Like I'll have a big revelation, about how the universe works and whatnot, and existentially, and then the SF comes in and is like, "Dude, what the fuck?" So that's the issue. That's kind of where it all like interplays with each other.
I think even with your multivitamins, you're not missing the
I'm
gaps.
probably not getting.
Because
I'm probably. I'm
'cause when
probably.
you were explaining that to me, I quickly looked up how many supplements that Brian Johnson takes. He takes 104 pills a day, right? So I'm like, there's no way a freaking multivitamin is covering 104 different stuff, like individual supplements with the right dosage and everything, for
Look,
optimal.
I'm a broke college kid.
Yeah, no, I think no, it's fine. It's fine. Like obviously we're not like a millionaire like him, but like the point. I feel like there's like an 80-20 rule though. There's like probably like a handful of supplements that if you took would take care of like 80% of the problems, which I think a lot of people are aware of them. Like like vitamin D, for example, is like super important. I think a lot of people are aware of that. And then vitamin D, you need like magnesium for it to be absorbed. So you need to take magnesium with it, and then fish oil, the omega-3, super important, right? So, uh,
Well, oh, do
yeah,
you
go
mind
ahead.
if I like
Yeah, cut it.
explain
Go
a
ahead.
little? I use the multivitamin for I use the multivitamin. I kind of like leveraged on it, though I do take other supplements as well.
Yeah.
Um, mainly, I think this is where the TI comes in and the insecurity of the feminine TI is I
Okay.
mainly take supplements for to improve cognitive function.
Oh, okay.
and that's essentially, it's an insecurity. It's like I need to be more intelligent. I'm not competent enough. I'm not competent enough.
Yeah.
I need to take, more like nootropics to help boost, mental capability, because I'll be able to, with that, I'll be one step closer to succeeding in, my field, which is chemistry and, the sciences and how the universe works and whatnot.
Yeah.
Just metaphysics type shit. Um, that's where I think a difference with the like the SF sleep and the NT sleep, and
Yeah.
like the not NT sleep and the ST sleep comes in.
Right.
Like you said, it is tied to competence, and yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of that there. But I also believe that NT is also tied to competence as well. Anything TI, I believe is tied to, some form of, okay, how good am I able to figure something out?
Yeah.
Um,
Oh,
yeah,
I'm gonna cut you off real quick. Have you taken a supplement called ashwagandha before?
yes, I'm taking it right now.
I don't know if about you, but like I noticed when I took ashwagandha, I couldn't use my NE. It like suppressed it. So I don't know if like,
Really?
yeah, I don't know. Because I do a lot of interviews, right? So I can tell the difference in my cognition when I'm interviewing someone. And
Oh,
I remember when I interviewed Laura Miller, the ICJ lady in the community. I
yes.
my first time interviewing her a long time ago, I took ashwagandha before that interview, and I was like, I cannot connect the dots. Like I cannot like grab like a link what I want to say with something else. And I was like, what the hell is this ashwagandha shit, right? And then but it's good for sleeping because then obviously you don't want to be overthinking before you go to bed, right? You want to go to sleep. So before bed
Okay.
it's like great, because then you shut off that NE brain. Because any brain, like especially before bed when it's like activated and all this like ideas is there, and it's like, oh God, this is not serving me right now. Like I don't need this right now. I don't need NE to be working right now. It has to be off. So I think that's when the ashwagandha kicks in, it's like before bed.
So, okay, I don't take, oh, sorry, channel change break.
Yeah.
I princess. There you go. Sorry. So, I think that the ashwagandha, and so what it does is that it boosts serotonin, and it boosts serotonin levels. And at least the way that OE is described, it gives you reward chemicals every time you use it, right? Or at least saviors.
Okay.
So, if you essentially are inputting the serotonin, dopamine, whatever, from like Adderall, um, Adderall, ashwagandha, these other supplements.
Yeah.
I believe that it um, decreases your brain's incentive to actually go and use your savior, which means that you'll probably be a bit easier to slip into your demons.
Oh, okay.
Um, though that's just that's just kind of my theory as of current on how that works. Um, but I that's yeah, that's yeah. I think let's see here. Oh, there's the feminine in T. Forgot what I was thinking.
Yeah.
um, but yeah, I do think that's how that works. Um, so you don't really need to make that. You don't feel, at least with you, it kind of stems. Well, everything kind of stems from FI, right? Because you get the reward chemicals. Now, whether it's personal or not, that's up for debate based on what type you are.
Yeah.
But um, it stems from the chemicals. So if you shut off the incentive through, manually inserting them, then you don't have a need to make the connections. You don't have that reward. So actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take ashwagandha more sparingly, because in the with the field that I'm going into and the sciences, I would rather, get the absolute hell used out of my NE, because I'm going into a field that involves it.
Right, that makes sense.
So
Right.
that's actually good that you brought that to my attention. I'm gonna start taking that a bit more sparingly now.
Yeah,
Thanks.
unless you're on vacation, I guess. Um,
Yeah, yeah. Unless if I have a big observer shit coming up,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. Or you're going to a party and you don't want to like, you know,
Get overstimulated with like all the.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Um, all right, dude. I'm gonna speed things up a little bit just because we have a few more
Yeah,
things,
yeah.
and just for the sake of time, also.
Are
Because
you on the time crunch?
yeah, I normally try to keep this under, not keep it, but like I try to aim for like 1 hour or something.
Oh! I'm
It's okay.
sorry. I thought we had like
It's fine. It's fine. Don't
I
worry.
saw some I saw some interviews that were like 2 hours long, and I'm like, okay,
No,
I don't
no,
think he
no,
has the time for
there are
this.
times when I have the time for the 2 hours. Not always. So today
Okay, not now.
I'm in a little bit of a time budget today because my girlfriend wants to hang out. So I just have to be like
Okay. I won't keep you then. I
it's
didn't
cool. It's
know.
cool. It's
Okay.
cool, dude. I should have told you beforehand, but it's okay. So and NF's play. You have that as a demon, but you're a social type 4, so you actually want to do that, but it's a demon. So what's going on there with you, dude, with that NF play of yours?
Well, NF is in the abstract, of course. I think it is whenever I get into like a social situation, I'm very quickly able to pick up the emotion of the room and whatnot. So I'm very, that's I think that's kind of where I like whenever I got into 16 personalities, I self-type as the empath archetype because I was a bit, because of course peacocking a bit more confident in that,
Yeah,
right? So, and that's where you can get a lot of like empathy. And you can really check, other people's emotions and whatnot, and gauge the vibe of a room, as well as helping with helping my friends like through emotional issues and giving a form of therapy and compassion and making sure that the vibe is just right for them to enjoy as much as me. I think that's where the NF comes in, um, where I want to ping vibes and have a nice have a nice like just abstract vibe land, vibe empathy land.
oh, vibing with people. Gotcha.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, I do describe it as like, yeah, I'm just vibing with the boys right now.
God. Yeah. Yeah. All the energy dom lead NFs that I interview, they love that word vibing. So I guess it's like definitely like an
It's a
energy
fun
dom kind of
word.
activity to do, like
It's a
vibing.
it's a fun word. It's a pretty fun.
Yeah.
Um, I'll say I can track the vibe a lot better than a lot of the ST blockheads that I know. Um,
That makes sense.
and I
Yeah.
could see, say debates get heated, right? And I'm an ENTP, archetypal debater,
Yeah.
but I'm not the biggest fan of debates. I more prefer discussions, because debates, they get heated, they mess up the NF. And when the NF is messed up, then you lose friends.
Yeah. It's not worth it.
It's like, and it's like, look, it's not right. It's not worth it. I have my truth. I have yours. All right. Let's keep the vibe all right. You know,
You know what I
I'm
hate
not
about debate?
completely
Sorry to cut you
neglecting
off
it.
real quick. I just want to say something real quick about the debate thing. Okay. You know what I hate about debates? I have never once seen a debate where one person that they're debating from said, "Oh wow, that's a really good point. I'm now gonna take your side." And I'm like, this is why I think debates are complete waste of time. No one ever like nothing comes out of it. Like for me, I'm like, there's the outcome of debate is nothing. The outcome of debate is just people being pissed off. Like it's not good. Like I don't even want to like if someone wants to debate with me, I'm like, why? I don't. It's a waste of time. Nothing's gonna come out of this. Like you want to prove how
It's
smart you are? I don't care. Okay, because I don't have TI, right? I don't care. I honestly do not care. If you want to be right, go ahead. Go be right. Don't care, you know? So, and I just want to say that little tangent there before you continue on.
So yeah, I no, like I 100, I get you. I concur. Because debates, I mean, the way they're structured, especially with the TIs, they're very ego driven,
Right.
and that can fuck up a room really easily. And I, the thing is that with me is that I'm building knowledge, I'm building my truth, and with a debate, the other person might have information that I didn't incorporate into my belief structure. So though their logic and whatnot, like at least, or how they're presenting it might be flawed, but if you give me a really good point, I'll have to step back and be like, shit, you might be right. I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna beat on a loose end.
Right.
Um, and that's what I believe messes up a room. Um, is that there's also the, what do you call it? There's the, yeah, there is the insecurity of wanting to be right. I mean, I'll say, if you piss me off enough, and I know that, say I know that like a good debate and like, getting you with truth is gonna like own your SF. I'll I will bite back, but I don't like doing that. I'm not gonna, my truth is mine, your truth is yours. Let's keep it that way. That's what I try and do.
That's so
Let's
weird.
keep things peaceful.
Um, you
I
know,
bet, yeah, for the TE, I bet, because you're trying to like, figure out what everybody's beliefs is. I noticed that with my thing on the ashwagandha. It's like you took that so easily. I was honestly taken aback. Like, whoa, that's okay.
because my FI doesn't care enough to discuss into detail. Like,
Meh,
yeah, yeah, exactly. That's exactly, you got it. You're on point. Meh, exactly.
meh.
Just meh. Yeah. Like,
I'm not a meh.
yeah,
I need to figure this out.
yeah.
My ego's attached to it. I need to work on it.
I think that TI people get annoyed at me sometimes because like I just want them to tell me the answer. They're like, "What do you think?" I'm like, "I don't care to think. Just tell me the answer." You know, like, and I gain no pleasure at trying to figure it out or trying to think. Zero pleasure whatsoever. Even though I'm a lead NT and I am pretty good at figuring things out, uh, and I could probably outthink a lot of TIs. Not everyone, but like a certain population. But
Oh,
like, but not everyone. But like, but the point is I don't care. I'm not like, my ego's not tied to it because I just don't care, right? That's like my identity is FI, right? But you know what? I did think about it, and like I was thinking about the importance of TI, and I do think in the caveman days the TI is supreme importance because you cannot make a mistake. Because if you made a mistake during those caveman days, you're dead, right?
you're dead. Yeah.
And I think that's how evolution kind of like built TI. It's like you are not allowed to make a mistake, and because it could kill you and it could kill the tribe members too. That's why you can't admit mistakes. You can't admit you're wrong to the tribe because you could get ostracized. In the old tribal days, right? Obviously, we're not in that reality anymore. We're not in reality anymore. And now you have so much more room for mistakes. And I was talking to Benjamin about this. Because the thing with TE and TI is that TE is actually faster to get to the solution, but at the cost of a lot of resources, because it's a lot of trial and error, right? So when you get the real life feedback, you can get more concrete data to solve the problem. But the problem is you're gonna waste so much resources to do that. That's why you want like a TI person if it's a bigger project with a limited budget. You want someone with TI to simulate first, just to really conserve funds to make the project you know complete finish it to completion, right? So So I think for like smaller scale stuff, TE is better. Bigger scale stuff, I think TI is better. When you cannot afford, but if you need to rush something, you need to bring the TE people there just to get the more reality feedback on the solution. And yeah, and so it really depends on what the circumstances when you need either TI or TE. Obviously, even in the caveman days or like tribal days, whatever, the TE people still had their use because the trial and error thing is still required, right? To discover something new, right? Sometimes the simulation is not enough, right? You need the actual feedback. Unfortunately, maybe some of those TE people got killed when they did the TE, which at their sacrifice benefit the tribe. They're kind of like
Damn.
I like to use the testers too. I was talking to like this INTP girl during my interviews. I was like, oh yeah, you testers, you helped humanity because you tried the food first, and then a bunch of you died, and that's like you know. And at least we know which is safe to eat, right? Because testers can't help it. They have to try the different food, right? So
Well,
so
that must mean I got a little tester in me too. I mean, but that might be the NT. But
yeah.
I, I'll say like with the you made a pretty good point with the TE and TI. I can concur. Um, I do believe that it also involves complication as well. A more complicated, like I think you might have mentioned it, just different words, right? Is that what you mentioned? You see, my ego's like, because my ego right now is like, I'll say like, damn, this guy made a lot of sense. Shit, this guy made a lot of sense. Like,
What?
part
How?
of me wants to like discuss this and get it and like wiggle in a little, aha, but here's where I'm right type. And that's where the ego comes in.
That's so weird.
But the thing is,
Why?
I'm
Why? That's so
because
weird.
I'll die.
Okay, fair enough.
So
Yeah, you'll die after this.
that's a pure point. So, which again made a lot of sense. So it just
Oh,
so
you know what, dude? Just
what
hearing you say that is kind of funny. It's like, oh, TI people don't want to agree with you. Is that what it is? It's so weird.
it
Because
is. It is. I don't like the ego part, despite it making a lot of thinker sense, the introversion, the personalness of the thinker
yeah.
is like, damn, that made a lot of
Oh,
sense.
oh,
He
dude.
figured that out. He figured that out, but he figured out that out before me and had a point to
Yeah,
it. I couldn't do that. I didn't do that myself. Therefore, I am not contributing anything of value to the tribe, and
yeah,
therefore he will survive, I will die. And
dude.
that's
Yeah,
Darwinism.
yeah. No, it makes
And
perfect sense.
that's that's where that is where the fear comes in of that's where the fear of the TI comes in. And I think for me it's a little more extreme because of that masculine FE, right? The fear of the tribe will, they'll come at me with like pitchforks and be like,
Yeah.
you are wrong, you are broken. And that's where
Oh,
the
dude.
pain comes in.
I want to add something too. Based on that thing that you just said. Um, so
You
humans
are
are very
unworthy of love.
yeah, so humans are very tribal in nature, right? So I think what happens too is when the TE person figures something out and the TI person is like shocked. It's like, what the fuck? How you figured it
Yeah.
out before I did? I think what really happens is um back in the tribal days, because the TE person figured this out, their status in the tribe went up and yours went down. So now you have less
Yes.
resources. You have less resource as a result. That's why it's hard to accept that. And I was also thinking from an FI perspective, why FI would do something similar to kind of what you were saying. So TI and FI, the similarity, I guess you could say, with the ego is with the FI, um, it's like, oh, you like that? That's how you're gonna present yourself. I cannot be the same as you because then I lose my identity. Like we cannot be the same. If you like that, I don't like it anymore. It's like weird, right? Because like the FE people will
Hmm.
like, oh, you like it too. Kind of like, it's like, yeah, we,
Yeah. Yeah.
but like the FI is like, oh, you're wearing purple. I can't wear purple now. I have to wear like a red. You know, like it's and if you look at it from like a tribal perspective, it's like, oh, it's because you need to stand out, right? If you're both purple, then like well, how is one special the different from the other? Like, you know what I mean? So it's like
So
peacocking in a way, right? So it's like and then the FI is like, oh, I want my vibe to be better than your vibe, kind of deal. We're like the FE is like, we're vibing, we're like together in this, but the FI is like, no, we're not. My vibe is better than your vibe. I'm cooler than you. With like the SF, let's say, I'm cooler than you.
I'm more comfortable than you.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me just wiggle into my chair.
But no, but it is true though, because like the person who's more comfortable is the alpha.
Yeah, yeah, that
Yeah,
makes sense.
because
So
that comfort is kind of
no,
like
it's
confidence, right? You're at ease at the situation, right? So it's kind of interesting with the F and TI how like uh we're doing it for like ancient tribalism programming that is no longer relevant. At least not in the day-to-day basis. Maybe it is if you're like in a higher level politics or something, or something where like it is like, you know, like you have to outsmart your opponents, you have to out peacock your opponents, like there is that does exist at like the highest point. But like for us regular folks, it actually doesn't do anything. Like there's no point, so
so yeah, to like actually, you know, add on to that as well. With the TE person, figuring out faster, just trial and error. They use a lot more resources, and now I cannot build with I cannot construct.
oh, we
There
stole
was one
we
thing
stole the
that
resources.
is one thing that my teacher is a TI, I think INTP, my
Yeah,
chemistry teacher I look up to. There's my decider. There's my decider.
sure, yeah.
But he that I look up to, he's like, look, I think you'll be a good chemist. You're a constructivist, just like me. And that essentially means that they stack logic in the abstract.
Yeah.
So like, that's both NT, NTI, NITI or TINE, any of those combinations are going to be more constructivistic in their thinking and more simulatory. But that's a mute side point there. Um, with your FI, right? So does it bug you of like, hey, let me go get a red shirt right now so we can match and like you can be one of us? Or maybe you should put on a hat as well. Hey guys, come here, let's all wear red together and like be one of us.
Yeah.
Like that. Does that give you like the prickles?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. Like twin C's, that sounds horrible to me. Like I don't want to be twin C's with anybody.
Really?
there is one because I have NT play. There is one scenario where I would do it. Okay, so that scenario, I just have hiccups by the way, so I'm just trying to slow down my talking. Stupid
You
hiccups.
still have hiccups.
No, it
Okay,
stopped and it came
okay,
back.
okay. Hey, 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 wait. Hiccup. Come on. Do it right now.
No,
Like, turn the mic on and hiccup. Go on. I want to watch you. I
it's
want to
already
watch you
on.
hiccup.
It's a quiet
Look,
hiccup. But
let
anyway,
me look.
so
Dang, it didn't work. It didn't work. There's a little psychological trick where you tell somebody to hiccup. Like, hey, hiccup. Keep hiccuping. Hiccup right now.
yeah,
Do it. And it weirds them out. Like it makes them stop
it's just
for
like
the most part.
kind of like don't hiccup me, bro, or something.
I guess, yeah, but it didn't really wasn't that strategy wasn't really effective.
No, but it's okay. It's okay. It's all good. Um, I was thinking about something that you said earlier too that I thought was kind of interesting. So what I was thinking is when it comes to back in the tribalism days and like we're talking about like resource and whatnot and like wasting resource. You're like annoyed at TE person because they wasted the resource. I think the type that is the most wasteful at the resource is the SETE because the material is not the SE, the physical is not it doesn't have to be preserved, right? Compared to the SI. And then the TE is like, let's try whatever we want. So you're wasting all this SE resources to try out things, right? And then think that TI and the SE people, like the ESTPs and those guys in that quadra, they're about the same as people like me, like the with the SI and TE, because for me, same as you with the SI, right? The material is limited, it's scarce, so we're trying to protect it
It's
with the SI, right?
it's
But then
it's
I'm
limited. It needs to be personal.
yeah,
If I'm wearing the same red shirt as you, sure, we have twinsies, but then the sensory isn't personal,
yeah,
meaning, that's not true SI. I
yeah,
think that's where I can kind of agree, a little on the prickles there, because everybody has FI at the end of the day, right?
yeah. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
if
Go.
there is an opportunity to offend people, I would twinsies with a bunch of people. Okay.
Why?
Because I have NT play. I have NT play. So like like when I think about Halloween costumes, I think about like what would offend the most amount of people. Like if I were to go to like, a place when there's like a big event going on and everyone's like dressed up, I'm like, well, how can I be the most offensive as possible? Because that's how NT play,
Oh,
you know?
okay, okay. I think I have an example of NT play, um, or NF play. I don't know, whatever, right? Because dicking around with the vibe, I can do. But this shirt, can you read it,
I'm not
or is it
responsible for what
backwards?
happened in the United Kingdom on September 8th, 2022, or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. Can you timeline that? What happened? What happened in the United Kingdom?
I don't know. Is it Brexit? I don't know. I have no clue, man. I have no fucking clue. It's not Brexit. It's not Brexit. Or is it? I don't know.
It's the Queen's death.
Oh, okay. I'm completely wrong.
Yeah, so that's going to trigger off like a whole bunch of British people. So I can wear it in America, right?
Yeah, but
Uh, I
that's only
I'd
people who
be
have
a
the
dead
SI.
man if I took. I am a dead man if I take this overseas.
No, you're not, because only people with masculine SI would know what that means.
Oh, but they'd ask. I've had very curious EPs ask like, what happened? Like, what's on the shirt?
Yeah,
So I'm like,
but they're double
and
deciders, so they
I'll
won't.
sometimes I'll sometimes dick around and be like, I'm not responsible. Uh, not responsible. I didn't do it. What you what you didn't do?
That's
What
just,
is it?
dude. That's such a weird SI joke. Fucking weird SI joke. But I get what you're saying. It's like a trap almost. Like, because NF
It's
plays
a good
sets
trap.
trap. NF plays sets traps, right? Like that's what they do. So you said your shirt is
It's a
your trap.
troll.
Yeah, your shirt is your trap. And to get an
It
emotion,
is. It is.
get an emotional reaction out of people. Like that's a trap.
Yes.
Yeah,
So I think that's a pretty. I get it's a very both MT play and NF play are trying to mess with the tribe. I think that's just what any does at the end of the day.
yeah.
Um,
But dude, but okay, hold on.
especially if, yeah, go, go,
Sorry.
go,
But the
keep
big
going.
difference, though, sorry, is you're trying to trap people so to get an emotional reaction out of them. With the
Yeah.
anti-play, I'm trying to make you look stupid, like you're a dumbass, right? So
Oh my God, that piss. Okay, that I've dealt with some NT plays that just will like. There's this there's this ES like not like ENFP guy
yeah,
who who's like my who's like my vice president. Yeah, because I'm president of a frat and it's insane.
yeah.
Social type 4, responsibility third, like blast last. How the hell did I get here? Type stuff. That's a story for another day.
Yeah.
Either way it goes, this dude, what do you want, stupid? Hey, look at you, stupid. Oh, look at this fucking idiot. It's like,
I don't think that's NT
fuck
play, man.
you.
That sounds like ST play, dude.
I don't know. I don't know. But he'll just like call everybody an idiot. And it gets under my skin. Because
Dude,
like, how do you know? How do you know how smart? So you don't.
no,
You
dude.
don't.
That's
You,
S
it's
that person's ST play, man. That sounds like a double masculine ST play person, you know.
I don't know. He looks like the stereotypical ENFP.
Oh, okay.
Crazy beard, ginger.
Well,
Uh
you look like an
I
ESTP, so
well well, okay, I look like an ESTP.
yeah.
Well, wait, what'd you say before?
Oh no, I was just saying that I just
I
said
look
that
like
that
what?
type sounds like an ST play person, you know, because
Potentially,
because
yeah.
because the NF play and the NT play, we don't outright call you something, we trap you to it, so you come across that way.
Oh, okay. So you puzzle trap somebody of like, ha, you couldn't figure this out, like, oh, look at you, stupid on a spectrum type
Uh,
stuff. Is that like
I
kind
usually
of
do it
kind
in,
of like it?
yeah,
Okay, like okay,
especially when I play
NT
video.
play trapping.
What's that?
My NT wants to figure out like
But
your NT play
I
trap.
can't do it on command. It has to be spontaneous. It has to be something like we're like let's say we're playing a video game and I'm gonna trap you. I'm gonna NT
Oh,
trap.
okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool.
And it actually works pretty well. I've trapped like a lot of like NT consumers with it. They get really annoyed because especially with a TI ego. You know,
I bet. Yeah, I bet.
yeah,
Oh man.
yeah. But anyways, we're gonna
Let's
wrap up
go. Let's move on. Let's move
shortly.
on. Yeah.
Last question for you. We didn't get a chance to touch on the social type, but we can always do a second interview in the future. So we'll save
That
that
was
here, like in a year from now or
yeah,
something.
do you want to oh how okay, so a year from now, yeah, how do those work?
Yeah, because I
You
do
know what?
follow up.
I have you on Messenger. We can chat.
Yeah, because I do follow up interviews after a year, 1 year minimum. I do follow up interviews with people, just to see
Okay,
where their
cool.
progress is, and then, the follow up interview I usually go deeper into the social type. So I guess we can do that for you, and then
Cool. Yes.
yeah, so we can just
Perfect.
do that, and then if I have any panel interviews, I can also invite you in.
Cool.
I am thinking of some panel interviews, so I'll keep you in mind for those. So yeah, so last question, dude, and then we'll wrap up the interview, okay? Because I just gotta end this. We went 2 hours already. So
Really? Oh my God. It's
yeah, yeah, yeah. I was like, shit.
wow.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It happens. We're both EPs. Your blast last. It takes forever to, like the blast last people. It's like a little bit. It's like a double-edged sword in my opinion because they either you don't have anything to say and the interview's finished in 30 minutes, or um you you take forever to get to the point that the interview goes way longer. So it's and especially with someone like high friends like you. So it's fine. I'm cool with it. So last question, double masculine SF blast. Okay, this is the big one. Okay, I only have two questions for this. Okay, even though
Okay,
there's
cool.
like four different dimensions to it, and we'll talk about that in a follow up in the future. First one is,
Okay, yeah.
when do you tell people they're appropriate, their behavior is inappropriate, and you need to correct them with that SF blast? That's the first one. Okay, because that's part of SF blast. It's like correcting inappropriate tribe behavior. Like the ISFJs and ESFJs are good at this. That's the first one. Second one,
My girlfriend does that.
yeah. Second one is
Hmm.
getting started in production. Like, how are you? How would you rank that? How do you get moving? Blah blah blah, all that stuff. Okay, so go. Start with the first one.
Okay. Yeah. So no, so I I go I okay. So what I'll do, right, is I'll notice tribe behavior that's inappropriate. But the thing is like, you know, feminine all the way through. It's like if if I notice, like if I simulate that such behavior will have, potential repercussions, then I will then I may or may not enforce it. Like I'll get somebody to enforce it for me so I don't have to do it. Because it's last, right? Like, I don't want to get like angry and just shut them down. Right. That's like, if I see like inappropriate, behavior out in public or whatnot, it's like, it's like I don't want to have to be that guy to shut it down because I know if I do, I'm gonna be a dick. So it's like I try to keep that on the down low, and there'll there'll be days where I'm more lenient on it, and days where I'll be less lenient on it, depending on what's gone on, depending on circumstance. Uh, but yeah, it's kind of just like lenient to a point, and then it detonates out. And I think that's just how my SF works in general. It's lenient, feminine, and then it's kind of what happens. with it. Um, though I can say my girlfriend will overcorrect me on behavior, where I'll be like, yeah, it's fine,
Wait,
versus her being,
she's correcting you for behavior?
yes, yes,
Is she an
and I'll be like,
ISFJ or
well,
something? Or like something like that?
I think she might be. Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
There you
Okay.
go, OE brain. But you'll probably get an interview with her in like, if she wants to do it, like in a couple months.
Okay.
But she's really cool. Um, I think what comes in is like she's also double masculine. I know that for damn sure, which is weird because I have double masculine at the bottom and she has it like at the top. She has it high. So I have Hulk syndrome. She has sissy syndrome, and our modalities mesh in a weird way because I'm feminine normally until you push me to a point, and she's masculine normally
Yeah.
until she goes into sissy syndrome.
Yeah.
It is a weird balance that actually functions quite well.
Yeah, it does.
Now,
It does work. I can relate.
oh,
I have the same situation as you, by the way. For the
cool, cool, cool. But yeah, I can definitely notice that behavior within her. I can see where that applies within myself, or will I be tempted to do such behavior?
right.
Now, the social type four, whatnot, it's like, okay, if my friends are having fun doing inappropriate behavior, it's like, there's that like, there's a bit of that cognitive dissonance there. I can say,
Yeah.
but moving on to getting started. Oh boy, this impacts a lot of things. All right, this really sucks, and it's masculine, so I'm aware of it. I'm aware that it sucks. it it percolates through the NT, the ST, the NF. It percolates through my entire life on the lack of communication and the lack of getting started. And that is something that definitely needs to be worked on more. I'll be really excited to go to the follow up interview and be like, hey, I actually got started,
Yeah.
on XYZ,
Yeah.
right? Maybe I'll have a bit more, muscle
More
to,
flex. That's right, man.
help.
That's right.
Yeah, maybe a bit more flex, like it's the double introversion definitely um makes that flex a bit more noticeable.
Yeah.
So I have to get through the all of the social types to get to it. So the flex kind of comes out in a pipe dream. So yeah, there's that essentially. There's a lack of communication, right? Anybody who wants to see my just horrible lack of mumbles and communication can look through Binyamin streams. Unfortunately, I won't be able to attend this next one, but yeah, there's a lot of me content on the Binyamin streams where it's apparent that I'm mumble fuck to all fuck.
Oh, you mean his friends hangout stream thing?
Oh yeah, they're great. They're great. I've made I think I've made two good friends in David and Binyamin.
Oh, that's
I send them memes. There you go. That's the NF play. I send them memes, right? Because any is just a meme. That's the way David. That's the way David and I like. That's the way we both describe it. Is any is a meme.
you know okay, you know what I like about the FETI people? It's so fucking funny. I love it.
Well, what's up?
Oh,
What's up?
with the FE people, it's like
Oh shit.
we have to do the appropriate thing for the tribe, right? But then, so I always tell people I'm like I like racist jokes. I think they're funny, right? I
They
openly
are.
tell
They
people
are.
that, yeah. So like Benjamin always sends me racist jokes. I mean, and I don't know if he wants me to tell people this, but he always sends it to me. And like, I mean, he's not so much lately, but he used to in the past. And, so
Yeah.
I just think it's funny because it's like, I was like, because it's like it's kind of inappropriate, but then you also know your friend likes it, so you kind of want to F also with your friend. It's like, and like secretly everyone likes them, like they're kind of funny, there's some really good ones, if it's done correctly, obviously. There's like bad ones, obviously, too, you know.
Oh, I'll drop some ENTP troll. I'll drop some zingers of like racist jokes.
Yeah.
And my mom being like, I think, very high DE, I think FE is like, don't say that. And she says it with a giggle. So
Yeah, exactly, because it's
I
funny.
FE know you found that funny.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's like, I know you found it funny. Why are you like, what are you doing? Just admit it. Just
yeah,
admit
and
that you found it funny.
yeah,
Okay, like I think that's also what I like about Dave, OPS Dave is like he'll drop some zingers of humor,
yeah,
and it's like High Fi doesn't give a jack,
yeah,
which which it's like okay. He's definitely made me cackle and guffaw and hit the old knee slapper, which is pretty good.
yeah. Yeah, the other thing I
Very
like about
cool.
ENTPs is I can get you guys to do like offensive, chaotic stuff with me. Like when I'm like when I'm in that mode, and like I'm getting my buddies together, and I have like some ENTP friends, right? Like especially when I was younger, and like yeah, there's that FE, you want to be like appropriate and stuff, but you're also still an EP at the end of the day, and the EP like overrides the FE. you
Just
know,
dick around. Yeah,
yeah, like dick around,
especially
be
FE tertiary.
yeah, and then like all the EP together are like kind of like, here we go, guys, and then everyone's like excited, just like, oh man, I can't wait, like
Oh my god.
I,
Oh my god. Yes, yes. So I have a frat full of like nerds and whatnot.
yeah,
And one of the little challenges they did is walk to the McDonald's all the way over there, but
yeah,
obeying every single SI law that's in the book.
yeah,
And it was a little challenge. I'm like looking like, what the hell are you guys
yeah,
doing? But I'm like secretly like, bit of play, right? Social type 4, kind of want to be with them. But
yeah.
my introversion's like telling me,
Oh, you missed
nah, I'm
out,
not, I don't know what they're doing. But that's also a part of growth. It's like, okay, I need to balance,
yeah,
people time and me time,
right,
because I'll just like disappear, right? Blast. I'm not there type
yeah,
stuff. It percolates. It's everywhere. Like it's all connected.
yeah,
There's the NE,
yeah,
right? But man, this was a great interview. I'm gonna nip this off of the bud because I'm getting a little hungry and I know you need to go,
yeah, 100%,
with your
man.
girl.
Yeah.
Um,
So, dude, thanks for coming out. I
it
appreciate
was
learning more about your type, especially the number 4 version of your type. Um,
yeah, yeah,
yeah, and yeah, it was actually fun chatting with you. So I'll definitely look forward to our follow up sometime a year from now. And if I do any panel interviews, or if your girlfriend, if she gets officially typed and she wants to come by, send her my way as well. And yeah, man, we'll keep in touch.
yeah. Yeah, keep in touch, man. It was really nice. Really nice talking to you. Um, I'll be happy to happy to join a panel interview. Given the right opportunity. It
Sure.
was really fun EPing with you.
Yeah.
All right,
Later,
peace.
man.
Peace out.